Thank you very much for this honor. I'm sharing this wonderful recognition, really, with many courageous people around the world who are working very hard to create new opportunities for their families, their neighborhoods, and their countries. And I would also like to share this with a host of national and international organizations who are really passionately committed to raising awareness and taking action towards inclusive finance for development. But what is financial inclusion? This very abstract issue. Well, it's just very simple. It is access and usage by everyone to a wide range of sustainable financial services at a reasonable cost. That is, giving people the tools that will really improve their lives through a bank account, a savings account, mobile banking, healthcare insurance, insurance in general, and small loans. I think Mr. Kogo named a bit the figures of who's actually included and who's actually excluded. But every second adult in the world must do without the most basic financial services that you and I rely on every day. In Tanzania, for example, there's just one bank branch for every 50,000 people. One for every 50,000 people. Imagine one bank branch for a community as big as the entire population of Baden-Baden. Just imagine the queues, not to mention the damage this would do to the local economy. And in rural areas, many people do not have any access at all. There's nobody present there. No cash machine, no swiping your card to buy your groceries, no safe means to save money. They are really excluded. It is really wonderful that a prominent German media jury has recognized the importance of an inclusive financial system and, with this award, is showing its support. Thank you so much. As a former banker at the Deutsche Bank, I have learned to value German professionalism. As Queen of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, I have enjoyed Deutsche Gastfreundschaft. And as the UN Secretary General's Special Advocate for Inclusive Finance for Development, I have come to appreciate how constructive Germany is in this field, and I really want to say that. I also know that Germany has a long history in community-owned financial systems that allow people to improve their lives. In fact, together with the Netherlands, Germany was a front-runner. The arrival of the first Sparkassen around 1800 allowed people with low income to save small amounts of money for investments or to set up their own businesses. This helped to build the German Mittelstand. And take Friedrich Wilhelm Raiffeisen. In the early 19th century, he himself experienced poverty firsthand as a seventh child of a local farmer in a small town of Hamm. He saw the suffering of his father and other farmers who were totally defenseless against domestic crisis and often dependent on loan sharks. Raiffeisen founded then the first credit union, providing banking services to members, helping people consolidate their savings, and granting loans to members on reasonable terms. This was, at the time, really a major innovation. It seems maybe very obvious now, but it was then a major innovation, helping thousands of farmers, craftsmen, and entrepreneurs to become self-sufficient, to help themselves. Raiffeisen stated that there's a connection between poverty and dependency. In order to fight poverty, one should fight dependency first. Bringing people into the financial system opens the possibility of independence. So that is exactly what we have to do. Thanks to visionary people like Friedrich Raiffeisen and the founders of the Sparkasse movement, Germany developed into one of the most prosperous, strong, and resilient countries in the world. A country where young people have a fair chance to shape their future, and where talent has an opportunity to flourish. But many countries still have a long way to go to fulfill their potential, like Germany and the Netherlands continue to do. And then financial inclusion must be, it will be extremely vital for their economic growth, their job creation, their social development, and their social inclusion. You know, it is not an easy task to be self-supporting and take good care of your family. It is harder when you earn maybe $10 one day driving a rickshaw and then absolutely nothing for a week. Or get $300 when you sell your harvest, but have to make it stretch all the way until the next season. Especially when you have no savings account, no insurance to protect yourself against droughts or floods, no credit, and no secure facilities to receive funds from your families or your relatives. A mother might have to sell her chickens, her only livelihoods, or a sewing machine just to feed a family or pay doctor's bills. And this is how, ladies and gentlemen, poverty becomes a trap that people cannot escape, not being able to protect themselves. Then we have issues of convenience. Business owners I met in Cairo spent all Saturdays going around collecting bills so that afterwards they could pay their own employees. Very efficient when you have a business to run on a 24/7 basis. They would gain really a whole day's work and income if they had a fast, inexpensive way of receiving and depositing money by, for example, mobile money. Now the question is, of course, is it possible? Is it really possible to break the vicious circle of poverty and lack of opportunity? Yes, it is. There are great examples that show that it can be done. The progress in Tanzania, Colombia, Peru, Indonesia, and many other countries has been remarkable. And the short film that you have just seen contains some inspiring examples of individuals and communities who, with a little help, have created their own economic security and really climbed out of poverty. In December, like you saw in the film, I was visiting a rural primary school in Ethiopia, where feeding programs together with the World Food Programme, coupled with local purchase from farmers and access to savings accounts and payments, is really putting an end to hunger in communities. The children's parents are selling more crops, they're getting more income. The local market is expanding, and more boys, and above all girls, are going to school, gaining an education and opening up new possibilities for future development. Almost 3 weeks ago, I met this young woman in Colombia, I think you saw the videos with the oranges, with a very, very small inheritance from her father. She bought some land near Bucaramanga. She cleared the steep hill and planted oranges and citrus groves. With the help of small loans and a savings account, she could create really that steady income. She built a house for herself and for her family, and is now bringing her business to the next level, really making herself an entrepreneur, investing in an irrigation system to carry water from a lake that was downhill into the citrus groves uphill. So financial inclusion creates jobs, speeds up economic growth, sometimes facilitates peace, like in Colombia, and empowers people, especially women, to improve their quality of life. And it has been said before, but I'm going to say it again. And as we know, the women deliver the highest return for social and development investment. And please do not blame a woman for repeating this all the time, but these are really empirical facts. But it's also true that women do face more obstacles. For instance, they take fewer loans than men, and when they do, they borrow less. Women are generally more careful than men. Having said that, risk-taking is really an integral part of entrepreneurship. So women entrepreneurs need to be encouraged to take more calculated risks. And this requires better business knowledge and access to financial services. Ladies and gentlemen, without roads, trucks and cars cannot drive. Without financial inclusion, countries cannot develop themselves. But let us not be mistaken. Excessive finance can also create problems, as we have seen over the last few years of the global crisis. That is why the right regulatory framework is so important. We need a system in which money is handled in a responsible, sustainable way. It is also of vital importance to teach people to be money-wise. Our digital area presents many temptations, and consumer goods are very easy to buy. Everything seems to be within reach: gadgets, smartphones, scooters, holidays. Young people are particularly in risk. In the Netherlands, for example, many teenagers spend a lot of money, keep no records of how much, and get themselves into large debts. Therefore, teaching young people how to manage money is the best way to prevent financial problems and help them to create a much better future. When we Europeans think we can rest on our laurels, we're always proven wrong. We can never take our future prosperity for granted. That is why financial institutions need to return to their roots of supporting the real economy by providing entrepreneurs opportunities to grow and to create new jobs. That is why they have to deliver their services responsibly, acknowledging that clients are at the heart of these financial services. But we also need more people to start and cultivate their own business. People with entrepreneurial skills and passion who will create jobs, generate income, create new innovative products. For that, of course, we need not only financial services, but definitely financial education and advisory support if we want them to succeed and grow. All of this to say that these are the reasons why the UN, the World Bank, and many countries have recognized that universal access to financial services and financial literacy are vital. Not as an end in itself, but as a means to an end. It is really economic growth, equity, and development we are seeking. It is my privilege as the UN Secretary General Special Advocate for Inclusive Finance for Development to spread this message in Baden-Baden, in Bucaramanga, and anywhere else I can. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk to you about this issue that is really very close to my heart. Your support also through this prestigious award is extremely valuable. Like Raiffeisen said, we can end dependency, we can end poverty, and you can help too. Thank you very much.